Eoyang is a former staffer on the House Intelligence Committee. She's currently vice president for the National Security Program at Third Way. Mieke, thank you for joining us. You were shaking your head there a bit for the Lee Zeldin interview. Tell me why.
So I find it really difficult to believe their claims that this is about FISA abuse. A few weeks ago, these same Republicans opposed any reforms to FISA, claiming that there were no abuses whatsoever of the process and the authorities that the FBI had been using to investigate all kinds of foreign crimes. And now, a few weeks later, when it's politically advantageous to them, they turn around and say, oh, we found all this FISA abuse, and at the same time are unwilling to hear from the FBI and the Department of Justice their side of the story. It seems to me that they're only interested in putting out a particular narrative. They're not actually interested in looking at all the facts and drawing a conclusion from there.
You worked with Devin Nunes. It seems to a lot of folks out there that, as you just said, that there's a particular narrative that they're trying to put out there. What is that particular narrative?
So I think they're trying to put out a particular narrative that cherry picks intelligence to say that the FBI and the DOJ tried to go after this person for political purposes. But when you only pick out the evidence that makes your case, you can leave a really false or misleading picture. Now, people may remember in the Bush administration in 2002, 2003, when they only put out the evidence that was favorable to their case that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. They buried all the doubts, they buried all the contrary evidence, and they took the nation to war on a false premise. Now they're trying to use this same cherry-picking tactic against the FBI and the Department of Justice.
Are they going for Robert Mueller?
Eventually, it seems like they are. I think they are really trying to say people who are going to bring out objective fact, who are going to look at all of this, they're trying to say you can't trust those people.
So what's more important here? Protecting Donald Trump, who may or may not have abused power by obstructing justice, maybe, or his campaign, which may or may not have coordinated with the Russians. The Russians already meddled in our election. We know that, according to our intelligence community. What's more important? Finding the right out of that, bringing those to justice out of that, or just protecting their Republican agenda?
So they swear their oaths to the Constitution and the nation, not to Donald Trump, no matter how many times he asks people for their loyalty. They have a bigger responsibility than that. And when a hostile foreign nation interferes in our elections, and the director of the CIA, Trump's director of the CIA, says the Russians are coming back again, it seems to me awfully politically short-sighted to try and protect Donald Trump as an individual rather than protecting the nation.
I'm getting a tight wrap, but Devin Nunes, what's he doing here? A lot of folks say he should have recused himself. He's just doing the White House's bidding, and that this is not him protecting the Constitution. This is him going out on a limb and making every effort he can to protect the man that he worked for during the transition. He was a transition member on Donald Trump's between Donald Trump's campaign and his administration.
I think that's right, and it's very difficult to see where the national security interest is in what Devin Nunes has been doing. If he were really interested in the national security interest, he'd be trying to figure out how the Russians were trying to get close to the Trump campaign and what kinds of methods they were using, but he's not doing that. He's turned this investigation onto the FBI and the Department of Justice, which are sacred American institutions.
Is this the same man you worked with?
I find his behavior baffling.